Okay. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome. I'm Shikha Kaushik, a psychologist, author, and a mental health advocate, and proud partner of a Thera Biz Solution, where we work closely with mental health professionals. At Thera Biz Solution, founded by Sajid Maula, our focus is on empowering professionals, helping them grow their practice, voice, and impact in a meaningful way. Today's conversation is especially important because we are exploring a topic that is rapidly changing the future in our field: artificial intelligence. I'm joined by Jason Fernandez, a licensed social worker, educator, and a founder of 60 Watts of Clarity, where he focuses on ethical AI and helping non technical professionals understand and use AI responsibly. Jason, it's a pleasure to have you with us. So, first and foremost, please introduce yourself and your
Of
journey to
course.
social work and with the AI technology. How did that come from?
Oh, yeah, of course. Again, Jason Fernandez, and she did an excellent job of describing who I was, my companies or whatnot. And, 60 Watts of Clarity was born about this idea that we just need enough wattage or enough power to think about something, 60
Mhm.
watts to have new clarity, to new insight, to do new things. And the reason why I paired social work and AI together is because of my own experience, really. I went through this route of AI delusions for a little bit. And so I thought I was building this really nice product. I thought I was doing this, and the AI was having me build from one, go into another platform and try to duplicate the AI and stuff like that. And I was only in it for about 2 or 3 days, and my friend got me out of it. But when I look back, I'm like, man, this is dangerous. And
Hmm.
I'm a very intellectual man, but feel that I could be someone as well susceptible to that, I'm like, man, there's so many people out there that is dangerous. They need to know. So I decided to just pair up social work and AI together because social work, we protect, we make sure, and we advocate for systems level, and AI is a system. So I just bridge the two together. And now I teach social workers how to integrate ethical AI. And I'm teaching the first 8-week course at the Graduate College of Social Work, where I'm teaching social workers how to build AI agents for their practice so that they can understand the human component of AI.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, that's actually a very fascinating journey. I never really thought about it. The AI, when it comes to my mind, it's basically like, okay, people are not respecting the what is actually wrong with it when it comes out. So that's a
Mhm.
kudos to you for that.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
the next question will be, what led you to the focus on specifically on AI literacy for non-technical professionals, especially in fields like mental health and education?
It started because I'm self-taught. I learned it from AI, and I realized
Oh.
there is a way that you can learn AI using AI. When I finally took a course, I knew the stuff already. There's some things I didn't know, so I took those things in, but overall, I use AI to help me understand AI, and then I watch a lot of videos. But early on, I realized that it has a very much tech bias, and so if you're non-tech,
Hmm.
it's hard to understand AI because the AI is like, well, this is how I would explain it to you, but you're explaining to it as if I was a tech person. So number one, it's hard to use it. So I wanted non-coders, non-technical people to be able to understand what is happening. So kind of doing what I call a what translation, translating from tech going into non-tech. And I went into there, and then AI literacy, because my AI literacy starts with AI sycophancy. It starts with what is your relationship with AI? That's the first step. Because if you don't understand your own relationship, because everyone has one, then you can see how it's going to be problematic, not problematic, or how do you control it? Because then when you work with other people, you can help them understand their relationship. So AI literacy is foundational, but I add social work human components to it. AI sycophancy, mirroring, echo chamber, all that good stuff as well. Because they need to know that when they're using it, it can be dangerous and informed consent as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's actually very true. So, no, honestly speaking, I was actually very scared of it the first time when AI came up, and I was like, okay, now people are literally going to just misuse it. Like there is
Oh, yeah.
already
Well, they
pure.
gave us AI without instructions. So
Yes.
with human behavior, of course, we're going to misuse it because we don't understand the boundaries or whatnot. But even humans, we push boundaries.
Absolutely. So, on a serious note, my next question would be: many mental health professionals feels uncertain or even hesitant about AI. What do you think is driving the fear of resistance? Because as a mental health professional, that is what I thought, as I mentioned earlier, that
Yeah.
there is always an uncertainty. If it's not about unethical AI, it's about people using AI, just putting it in such a blunder that they are considering it as their counselor. I mean, there are so many reports about it. So, what do you think about it?
because the narrative around AI has been given to us by the technology companies saying that it's alive, this, and this, it really spins a good storyline onto the general public. And with
Mm.
that, there's a lot of my students, for example, they don't want to get into it because they're scared. They're worried about how it's so forceful and how it knows so much information. It's a lot of data. Of course, it knows a lot of information. And so I think that's number one. I think it's because of the narrative. But number two, I think it's because AI was given to us without instructions. So there's a how are we supposed to use it? The mainstream way is workflow automations and whatnot. There's not no barely any training for other ways of doing it and understanding it on a different level. So when I try to come in, for example, and try to tell people there's a different way, I have to fight against a good narrative already set in stone saying that this, and this. And so, but
Mm.
once we start doing it in my classes, for example, they're having fun and they're understanding the importance of why, for example, social workers need to get involved because it is important because I think social workers can help change the industry.
That makes a lot of sense. Especially, whenever something new enters in the field, there is always an uncertainty and a natural, especially when we don't know about it. When we
Mhm.
get to know about it, it's either going to explode on us or it's going to give us, it will be very helpful to us. So,
Absolutely.
in simple terms, how can AI actually support mental health professionals in their daily work, or with replacing the human elements without
You
replacing
know,
the human elements? I'm sorry.
sure, and I might have a little unconventional answer.
Oh, go
I was
ahead.
thinking about this. So, I think one way on how mental health professionals, how AI can help is it can help bring the clients back to reality. Meaning that when you use AI and the mental health therapist and uses AI, when a client comes in and says, "Oh, I used AI in between our sessions and it's really helped me." That should be a red flag. That should say, "Oh, okay, well, tell me about your relationship with AI," or tell me a little bit about what you're talking about AI with. Get some informed consent and saying, can we look at the chat history, get permission, seek permission. If they get it, then great. They can use it as an intervention, possibly. I don't know 100%, but it can be used as an intervention, but a way for the AI, the therapist, and the client to grow the therapeutic alliance, to grow it again, bring the third party in, which is AI, and be able to talk about it. And that's where I'm going to say that I think where therapists are missing it right now, they can be doing that. Yes, workflow automations. Yes, clinical notes. But I think more importantly right now, the clients are away from you at the moment. They're not in the session 100% because they're relying on AI. Bring them back, use AI, let them use your AI and see if somehow
Hmm.
you can make an intervention based on that because they're using AI for projection. They're using AI to replace blah, 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 so on and so forth. That's therapeutic work right there. And I don't think it's widely known yet, but I think that could
Right.
happen. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that actually reminds me one of my client. I'm sorry for taking the time, but
No,
because
you're good.
it
I
just
like to listen, so you're good.
I actually get a reminder of that one of my clients, she just came to me. She's from European country, I don't remember. So she just came to me and she just told me that okay, I'm having a bipolar disorder and I'm having a depression as well. And as a psychologist, we actually have to go through certain tests to realize that okay, this is something that is going on. And I asked her that how she got to know, and she told me that she used GPT for that and how she used the GPT. And that was actually very important because she used the GPT in a very good way. To create a rapport between a psychologist and a client, it takes almost 3 to 4 sessions, to be very honest with you, that they are open about it, that they get to tell us that sorry, what exactly they are feeling. She told the GPT on the first chat as well. And just on the first chat, she told that what is going on. Then GPT says that, okay, you can take this test, and we can go ahead with it. And then it happened. So it's a bit scary, but I think so that I understand where you're coming from. That I think so. If AI comes in between, our work will be far easier, but not to replace the human interaction because AI can
Yeah.
help you in general, not exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and that could be a lot of psychoeducation AI for that client. And then it didn't even ask about culture. It didn't even ask about anything else. And so
Yes.
we have to start thinking about whose framework did they just give this person? Probably wasn't them whatsoever. Yeah. And so, and what you put in is what you get out. It is a true mirror. And so hope that's scary. And so this is where I think where we skip the clinical notes, we skip about workflow for the meantime, and we say
Hmm.
what's more pressing. We have to bring our clients back because the technology industry, they're creating these apps or whatnot. They're not great. They don't simulate crisis situations. They don't do a good job. We can do a better job. And I think we could bring them back and then so that we can support psychologists and therapists and bring them back and so that you can have your client back and then use AI together as an intervention. I think that's the goal.
Commendable. And you are actually very clear about it, and I'm very loving the session so far. So, from an ethical standpoint, what
Mhm,
are the
mhm.
biggest risk of using AI in mental health or social work if it's implemented correctly? If
Sure.
it's
I think
not
the over
implemented correctly.
got it. It's overly relying on it,
Hmm.
using it to let it make decisions for you. The system is made, for example, Claude. It's very made very clear how if you use Claude, it will ask you questions like three box questions, and then you click, 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 click. But the model already, the algorithm, the model already assumes, not it, but the data already assumes that it knows what it wants. So it's just basically guiding you through. You think you're making a decision, but no, it's made for you. So you need to
Right.
stop. So always press those X box. But I think that as well, that you could develop some type of relationship with it. And I don't mean like intimate
Hmm.
or whatnot, but again, a relationship to where you may forget because when you use AI, your body feels it. Your body will
Yes.
feel, oh, good job. Oh, I feel good. And that might remind you of someone from your past, or maybe someone didn't give you enough praise. So that's where that relationship could be. So there's that as well. And also, when you're feeling depressed, AI is going to try to solve your problem for you, but the solving the problem may not be what you want. So those are the risks there. Be very careful as we use it and why we use it, and always when you go into it, what are your intentions for using it?
That's a very critical concern, and you have really put it very straightforward, to be very honest. That is the only word that comes up in my mind, straightforward.
I have to because like there's no time in my eyes, there's no time. I love to do things actively. Like this is the goal, this is the plan. I don't like to sit here and say things like, well, we could do this. No, we can do this instead. Very clear. Yes.
You're a professor. I think so that's showing. And that's a good thing. How can professionals ensure that they are using AI in a way that aligns with empathy, equity, and human-centered values?
To start to do that, it doesn't even begin with using the model.
Hmm.
My students, they have to actually go through and research companies of AI and learn about their practices, learn about how what the information that they took. They actually have to talk about, the data centers and like Kenya and what happened and how they extrapolated, human workforce and whatnot. The reason is because that's not to say we have to stop using it, but they have to understand that first and foremost. So nothing about using the tool. Because if you don't understand that, then you're not going to understand how equity is not even born into it whatsoever. Because once you understand that, then you understand the data that's in front of you. Then you can start making a plan on how you can promote equity within the AI space. But until then, you don't understand, you can't do it. It's everybody's blind at the moment. When your eyes are open, you see a different world with AI and you see the
Hmm.
companies differently. And now you have to choose which one do I use? Because I know all these things and I have to make that choice. And I made that choice and I stick with that choice. I don't use OpenAI at all.
Right. Really?
No, no. I had to get back my subscription not too long ago because I wanted my data, but that's about it. But I don't use OpenAI.
Oh, and
Mhm.
you actually help with the ethical AI. Ah, that's
Yeah,
strong.
I know because a lot of practices for that model, it's dangerous. And so I don't agree with it at the moment until they get better data practices. I just rather use different models. And again, I'm picking one out of like, a sea of them. But OpenAI, I made the decision. I'm like, I can't use it. I don't like it. It doesn't do well. It takes away context from the users too much. I don't like it. So no.
For people who don't know open AI is, please do provide an example because I know ChatGPT is one of the open AI that they
Well,
don't know.
ChatGPT is the one I don't use at the moment. I used it for the longest,
And
but I
people use
stopped
it
using it.
most.
Yeah, it takes away your context. If
Yes.
it prioritizes workflow over culture, it's just not safe when it comes to mental health. I've simulated a crisis on there. It doesn't do a good job. Just because you throw in a text saying you should call this number, that is not a crisis. That's not a way of a solution whatsoever. Like I built a system to where the AI models can text me when there's a crisis and I can intervene. So, that's a different solution. That's something that I can do. I can intervene in the chat and I can say, hey, this is Jason. I see you're going bubble and try to figure out what's going on. What they're doing, it's not doing it until social workers and other people like us get involved and can change that. It's kind of like, what do I choose? I would love to build my own model though in the future. That'd be my thing.
I got it now. Amazing. It's just amazing. So, what are some practical ways a mental health professional can start using AI today? Not the open AI, but the AI today, even without the technical knowledge.
Well, if they use OpenAI ChatGPT, I think they need to learn about all the models still, right? Because my thing is when you go into any software and there's AI inside of it, I like to know what I'm working with. Is it Claude? Is it Meta? Is it this? Because it gives me an idea how it was trained. But some practical ways they can do is actually number one,
Hmm.
first go into your settings and look at see if your information is being trained on the LLM or not. And with Claude, for example, they have even metadata for location. If you want that, great and gravy. But if you don't, you might want to turn it off. If that's number one. Number two is a practical way. I always say before you use it, click, 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 because you need to know what the system is all about. A lot of people have a tendency just to be focused and use, focus and use, focus and use, but they don't click this button. And when they open it
Hmm.
up, oh, there's a web search tool, there's a canvas, there's this, there's that. So that's another practical way. Click on everything. Then use AI, snip a picture of the screen, use AI and say, tell me about the screen. Tell me some ways on how I can use this. Tell me, out of all these ways, what is one thing I have not said yet that is extremely important to know about using this function? Things like that. Those are the practical ways I always teach about first, because once you do that, I think the rest will come to you because you'll know what everything is and you'll start relating it back to, oh, I could do it for this. Oh, I could do it for this and go from there.
That's actually very encouraging, and most people need to know the one. They don't
Yes,
actually. The only thing that they do, okay, I agree, I agree, I agree, but they do not understand what they are agreeing about. So that's
absolutely.
what they
Terms and
need to do.
conditions, privacy, and everything. Go through that first. Spend some time. It's boring, but it's your data. So pick and choose.
Exactly. So, how important is AI literacy going to be for professionals in the next few years, especially how it's growing today? And is it becoming essential? What do you think about it?
There is an app that was built that can recreate your loved one who's deceased.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Yes. And so it's going to be very important because we don't know how to get involved in that. We can advocate or we can speak up, but they have leverage. They can create it. It's going to be very important because I believe that if we do not create, and not to replace, but to create to say, hey, you can't do that, or we're going to try something else, and then bring the clients back in, but don't use it like how they use it. I think that if we don't do that, it's going to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse. And without the AI literacy, your interventions may not be working. And I don't have it's anecdotal data, right? But AI is your new client, and no one is addressing it in the room. It's always in the room with you, no matter where you go, but no one's addressing it. You need to start addressing it. So AI literacy, super foundational, important. And if people are like, well, I'm in this field not to do technology, that ship has sailed. You stayed. So with that said, it's going to be super important. And if you haven't done it yet, please just give it a shot.
So, we have basically, I think so, we have covered all the disadvantages of AI till now. What do you think the advantages, because it can help you as well. I think so, it can help your digital presence as well,
Mhm.
because, right now as a digital presence, it's very important. And being a mental health professional, that somehow, sometimes it's not that easy for us to, to be available all the time. And AI can help us fix that. So, what do you think about that?
About the AI being a therapist?
No, not we don't need a therapist. We already
Was
are a
it-
therapist. we, we can take an help on a social network as in like a digital presence and such, but definitely not as a therapist.
So wait, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Basically, what are the pros for for the AI to put it in a very simple
Oh,
words? What do you think about?
Oh, the pros. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. AI can help you learn new skills, learn new tasks. It can help you learn information that you otherwise don't have access to. And that's one way it can close equity to your degree. Because again, I'm self-taught. I learned about APIs with webhooks. I learned about coding structures. I'm learning about separation of concerns in code and what that means in the file structure. I am not a web developer. I develop websites now. I help therapists who want to develop websites. The ones that are brand new and they need help, I will develop it for them. I host it on my VPS and so on and so forth. All those things are self-taught, learned by me, by AI. So you can learn. AI can release some work information or work duties that are daunting, honestly, that
Hmm.
can free you up for other things. You know, AI can help you with simple workflows, which they can, client intake, so on and so forth. I'm conflicted about clinical notes still, FYI, but because there's a whole slew of things. But if a social worker or somebody in the field is generally the creator of that software, I would take it. I would go with it because I think they'll be more open to feedback and they'll say yes. And they have a different priority than other people, than technology world. So it can help with that as well. I do think AI can help you manage your schedule and look for things into the data that you would never see or maybe initially not see, which are then open a new thought. And when that new thought comes a lot of clarity as well.
So basically, it will help you grow professionally if you use it correctly. So, do you believe that those who learn to integrate AI early will have a significant advantage in terms of growth and efficiency?
I still wonder what early is. This is early, but it moves so fast that it's like people think they're behind when I think they're not behind.
It's technology.
Yeah, and there, again, it gets good for the narrative because if it goes fast, then subscribers go into the base, this and this. But in reality, if I look back for the whole year, the model's gotten better, but the things are somewhat the same. It's just the model, just different information. So it's pretty much similar to a degree in my frame of view, my worldview. So I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I do think at some point, if they don't get on board, they're missing a lot of foundational things that are happening in the environment, and it's going to be hard to understand what they're doing. It's kind of like the creation of the internet. When you weren't there, you don't know how it was. I was. You don't know how it was. So you don't have a baseline. I have a baseline. So they don't
Right.
have a baseline. Yeah. So there's like, what? I'm like, no, you remember this day when I used to, Minesweeper and whatever it's called and do that, things like that. So yeah,
So basically, adaptability often defines who thrives in changing environment in a simple terms.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
one last thing, what advice would you give to a mental health professionals who want to explore AI but don't know where to start?
Well, of course, they can always contact me, 60 Watts of Clarity, www.60wattsofclarity.com. So
Great
I do help
one.
social workers, mental health therapists, anybody, even the community. Right now, I'm training a 78-year-old woman at the moment for AI in
Wow.
the community. Yeah, I want to do all ages. It doesn't matter. But I think that the number one thing is to, first and foremost, I always say make sure you go to your settings, terms of service, and things like that. But first and foremost, what is your intention behind using AI? I think if your intention is I want all my work to be done,
Hmm.
that may not be the best intention because what that comes is sacrifice of thinking, critical thinking, metacognition. Your frontal lobes definitely won't be able to get the workout that it used to get worked out before. And so I think that's number one. What is your intention? But also number two, what kind of outcome do you want? There's some pre-steps, I believe, than just using the tool. What is outcome? I did not do that. I regret that because I know where it took me and I don't like it. And now I'm thinking, what is my outcome of my session today? What am I doing with it? Where is my boundary of where I'm going to go and not go? Because I didn't have any with it because it was fun. It was a lot of data. It was new. So those are the things I always tell people first. And so using the tool will come to you. Those things, if not done initially, that helps guide your ethical AI.
Right. That was a really grounded approach, and people that should know about it. I don't know how many
Mhm.
people will understand, but please do understand.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, Jason, thank you so much for sharing your insight today. And I honestly love this conversation. This conversation highlights something very important. AI is not something to fear, but something to understand, shape, and use responsibility. At Thera Biz Solution, we remain committed to helping mental health professionals and life coaches not only to grow their visibility, practice, but also to adopt the future with clarity, confidence, and ethical awareness. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.